Welcome everyone to today's ASCI webinar from EV Cargo Technology. I'm Monique Fenech from Australasian Supply Chain Institute, and today's webinar is e-documentation, speed to sale improvement for retailers. Before I start today's webinar, if you could raise your hand please, if you can hear me. Great, thank you so much. Next slide please. Really pleased to introduce our two keynotes for today's webinar. For a start, just to give you a background in case you haven't participated in some of other EV Cargo Technologies webinars with ASCI. EV Cargo Technology works with retailers to monitor networks and design, build, test and deploy optimum supply chain management systems. EV Cargo has 25 years experience across America, Europe, South Africa and Australasia. And EV Cargo has been ASCI's corporate member now for about 3 years, and in that time has shared really great case studies in the retail industry, as well as thought leadership in ethics and sustainable packaging. So we're grateful for the partnership and the value that you bring to our community. So to introduce today's two keynotes, Duncan and Angela. Duncan has over 18 years of experience in management consulting, business process redesign and software implementations. And Duncan is an expert in product sourcing, PLM and supply chain management solutions. At EV Cargo Technology, he leads the global commercial team and is responsible for marketing, business development, account management, solution design, solution delivery, and the APAC PL. EV Cargo Technology is, as I mentioned, our corporate member, and we're really excited to announce there's going to be a Sydney-based member of staff starting soon, so that's pretty exciting on Duncan's team. And to introduce Angela. Angela is the product manager for APAC for EV Cargo Technology. She's based in Hong Kong and she's responsible for supporting the functional growth of product in sourcing, the remit, like liaising with customers and commercial team, feeding industry trends and projections into the product. Angela has worked in supply chain for 10 years, so you have a passion for supply chain too, Angela, which is great, with experience across a range of disciplines within the industry, specializing in consultancy, solution design, business process redesign, project delivery, and product management. We're really excited to have you join us today. So welcome over to both of you. And if you have any questions, members, please pop it in the chat box. And at the end of today's presentation, we'll have some questions after the product demo, I believe. So next slide, Angela. Over to the e-documentation industry context, please.
Thank you so much, Monique, for the introduction, and thanks for providing us the opportunity to share some thoughts today. Hi, I'm Duncan, as Monique introduced me. So we're actually both based in Hong Kong, sitting at a socially distanced 2 meters apart. Hong Kong is going through a fourth wave at the moment of COVID, so looks like we're going through a partial shutdown. I'm glad to hear that those in Sydney are living quite openly and freely, and I know Melbourne members also have gone through a very sustained lockdown, have come through the other side, so that's great news. So yeah, just to add a couple things to my introduction. So yeah, wow, it's 18 years I think I've been working in this industry. Almost all of that has been in Asia. That does help a bit, being in close to the sourcing hub. So it has given me access to work with retailers from around the world. And some of those insights, hopefully, we can share with you today. So we do work with retailers in Australia and New Zealand. We'll show you some of those shortly, but also UK and South Africa. I think being based in Asia naturally does help us be quite close to the supplier and factory base. And really the e-documentation thoughts and ideas, a lot of that comes through working more closely with suppliers and factories, and trying to introduce ways to automate process, to cut process steps out in the supply chain, whether it's at origin or at destination, and enabling that through working closely with vendors and suppliers. So that's one of our main theme of the day today. And yeah, just want to thank you again for joining.
Okay, so hi, I'm Angela, and as Monique has introduced it, I'm product manager at EV Cargo Technology. So I've been working very recently in technology and product development, and as product manager, I'm responsible for solutions, product features and functionality, working with my team building product roadmap, planning releases, like keeping evolving what we have in our solution today.
Okay, so not going to repeat the intro from Monique. Just pick out a couple of points for those who are new to EV Cargo. So we're part of, with EV Cargo Technology is the technology division of EV Cargo, which is around about $1 billion revenue logistics company. So in tech, as Monique says, we really focus on supply chain, international supply chains and PLM. And mainly from a sort of industry perspective, we focus on retailers. So hopefully a lot of the retailer themes can apply to those others of you who are in other industry sectors working in supply chain. But our focus really is retail supply chain, and you'll see some examples later. Yeah, and we work with, we have vendors and suppliers logging into our solutions all the time, so, and have done for the last 15, 20 years. So what we're showing today is probably part of an evolution of that journey, working closely with vendors and having them share update processes through our solutions.
And going into the next slide, the module overview. So besides logistics, which is where we are focusing today, we also have other modules and functionalities which go further upstream to across compliance and sourcing. So for example, the one at the bottom left, supply setup for retailers to manage the new vendors and factories onboarding process. And then ethical trade next to it for recording factories which have been used, and the audit requirements, audit results, and audit statuses. And we've done some webinars for other modules such as the packaging compliance in the past, which is one of the couple modules we're talking quite a bit with our customers today. And it is helping retailers to look at how their factory pack products, how to optimize the packaging, and having vendors confirm on how they pack through the software. And today we are going to focus more on the top right corner, the one highlighted in blue, the logistic modules, including the order management, shipment management, and delivery management. So for order management, it is mainly providing visibility and also collaboration of purchase order before shipments, with milestones enabling early warning and visibility for any risks and delays to upcoming shipments. And for shipment management, it is then focusing on planning the execution of international shipments, followed by delivery management, which is used to plan and manage the delivery once shipment arrives at destination, arranging to give them to get them into DC to enable visibility of stock flow once shipment arrives destination. Our topic today, e-documentation, sits across those, and we have done some works in previous years through custom solutions, and we got experience with different customers, and we're trying to get some best practice through this experience. to build modules in our software answering these e-documentation problems that we learned and we recognized.
That's right, Angela. So that feeds us onto the customers. So we're not showing you this slide to bombard you with brands. It's not really the point of showing you the slide. But as Angela said, we've been working with these retailers for quite some time. So when we cover the e-documentation side and the processes that they share with vendors, we've worked with retailers building what we would call custom solutions. So the likes of Kathmandu, for example, they've had their vendors generate carton labels, price labels from the system in the past. For example, with Maya, they also have processes around scan pack and generation of SSCC labels through a WMS. So we've worked with processes with our customers in the past. Customers also look at things like pallet label generation as well to enable automation of stock receipt. So we've done that in the past through customer-specific solutions, but what we're really trying to do, as other software companies would be doing, is building that into a standard product so we can make it available to all our clients. And that's really where we've got to now.
Yeah, and just on the customer side, we are now working to move our current customers onto products, and I could give a couple of examples. Like in UK, we have migrated a couple key customers onto product, like Primark, and UK fast fashion international retailer. We have worked with them for about 2 years now, and they are using our logistics system to give globally visibility of inbound shipment into origin. The system is also heavily integrated with other key parties within the supply chain. And as Kingfisher, an international home improvement company, we have worked with them for around 3 years, providing our logistics system as a global visibility tool to provide a centralized view for all business units, and helping each of these business units individually to manage their specific destination process.
We'll also just talk, when we go onto the partner collaboration section right at the end of the presentation and talk about some other processes that retailers can share with vendors, we'll also talk a bit about Sainsbury's. So again, we set up something specific to Sainsbury's to help them trade with their vendors and factories. And we've also tried to productize that, and we'll give you a glimpse of that towards the end of the presentation.
So moving on to the industry context. And some common challenges we understand from working with our customer. First is around control and visibility across supply chain. So one of it is looking at the lead time and trying to reduce it. And then around administration errors, how to reduce these errors, and which is vitally important to make sure data accuracy is there, and maximize skill level visibility, trying to get down to the lowest level of visibility across product to understand where they are at any given time in the supply chain. And next, cost control at destination, how we can move physical activity back to origin, either through logistics service providers or supplier. As doing something similar at destination is usually comparatively more expensive than equivalent origin costs. And then maximize our warehouse efficiency. So at destination, how can the shipments come through and be received more quickly, more efficiently? And automating the current process, what we can automate and how do we increase that? Improving the turnaround time in DC. This is about not having stock held in DC, having the least amount of lead time from delivery, from when the items get delivered into DC to the stock going out on sale through e-commerce or direct to store. And trying to reduce the bottleneck of receiving docs from manual process, which takes time and effort. And lastly, from corporate social responsibility aspect, making sure the process is environmental friendly and reduce the use of paper and having access to the documents electronically. And after the challenges, those are the common challenges we recognized and are looking at how our technology can support some of this, and the solutions to those could be for supply chain control and visibility by automating the receipt and also sorting within the warehouse to speed that up, making it quicker and also more accurate to increase efficiency. And then to reuse the data we have in our system to reduce users need to key in the data again, and at the same time also provide validation on to reduce the risk of data inaccuracy, and confirming carton content at SKU level at the lowest level. So across the supply chain, you can always know what is being delivered in every single carton at the lowest level. And next, around cost control at destination. So logistics service providers could look at supplier field based on allocation and understanding what is in each carton and where at any given time. And then looking to automate the receipt and sorting at destination. And lastly, from social responsibility aspect, by providing electronic version of packing list and commercial invoice, and making sure they are centralized and available, simple and easy to be retrieved, and hopefully reducing the paper waste. And next, around the process flow and solution demo.
Sure. So just before we give you a bit of a look and feel of how some of these processes can be automated. So for example, show you how carton labels can be, or carton contents can be confirmed and carton labels can be generated. We just thought we'd give you a process context. So for those of you that have worked in international supply chain for many years, you could probably shut your eyes at this moment, and it's rather pretty basic and straightforward. But at least you can see there how in a typical shipment, so this is a full container, a factory load, how the system would support the end-to-end process and enable the automation. So as you can see, if I just very quickly go through this, the orders are created in the retailer's ERP and fed through to our solution. We then have the vendor or factory do a electronic order confirmation, so they can go into the system, confirm they've received the purchase order, and actually request amendments or changes to the purchase order online. So if there are issues with the quantity, the ability to produce according to a certain date, maybe even the port of loading is incorrect, and the vendor needs to ship from a different port, that information can be captured through the system. Can be approved by the retailer planners, and then have the ERP updated automatically. So that's a small, simple process, but typically if it's not done online, it can be done over emails, phone calls, spreadsheets, and just not very smart in terms of reusing data and information. So once the order is confirmed, factory or vendor produces the order. And then in terms of the electronic steps, so they do an e-cargo booking with the carrier or the origin logistics provider, and then they'll confirm the contents of the cartons and of the container. So by entering the packing list and then generating carton labels, and then also the commercial documentation. So the commercial invoice can be done in the system as well, just reusing all the information from the PO and from the shipped or booked quantities that get entered by the factory or by the vendor. And then so physically, once the stock has been produced and the cartons have been stuffed, the labels get applied to the cartons and the container gets loaded. The origin logistics provider will then deliver the container to the carrier container yard. The vessel gets shipped and the stock gets shipped from origin. We then generate an ASN from the solution, and if we are tracking carton level details, the carton level details and what we would call SSEC labels get included in the ASN, gets fed down to our retailers' systems, and that then enables the automated good receipt. So the cartons can be scanned through a scanner, through an automated process at destination. And then, I mean, what our UK retailers are trying to do is enable quicker sales order fulfillment. So the sales orders can be effectively created or raised while the stock is in transit, rather than waiting for the stock to be physically received, or they can be raised and the stock can be called off after good receipt. But ultimately, we're trying to speed up the bottom processes there at destination and introduce automation. So that's a factory load, a full container example. For those of you who are into planning and international buying, you'll know that we can also do consolidation. So you have a less than container load and a CFS-CY consolidation, and the solution would also support those kind of processes as well. But just thought we'd give you a end-to-end context of the operational activity. So when we do a bit of a demo, you can see where it fits in.
Mm-hmm. And so just a bit of background, or just to set the scene for the solution demo for today. The e-documentation will cover 5 key elements shown on the screen, which are order confirmation, vendor booking, packing list, carton label generation, and commercial invoice. So for each of these elements, we put different color coding. And then for orange, which are what we currently have in our product and will be demonstrated today. And for those in black are what is currently in product, but we won't be demonstrating it today. And for those in blue, these are what we've got for future development through product lifecycle, and we will continue to, as we'll continue to iterate and develop on it. And the main core here is simple as to create those messages or documents. And what layers on top is the business requirements and also the logics around each process across different businesses. So for example, whether a retailer will allow a single or mixed SKU to be packed in a carton, or when do you want to lock down a document for any amendments or cancellation, and does that need to be approved, these sort of business rules, and we want to be able to cater different business cases for different customers, literally providing a structure to control the each of the process. And we will continue to develop this as we understand more as things change, or the business requirements change, just to keep enhancing the product. So next, I will change the screen to show our system. Just want to ensure you can see the screen. Good. So I'll go into the system demo now. So for those who know and have worked with our products, so these things may look very familiar to you, and just maybe some rebranding or change in screen. But in terms of navigation, they should be fairly standard. And supplier will first log into the system, and then order PO confirmation and also vendor booking. This is under our order management module. So for the first module, PO confirmation, so this too is for supplier to confirm the receipt of PO and also agree to the terms on the order. So on here, they will see a search parameter to look for the list of PO they want to work on. and they would select the list of orders they want to do the confirmation. User can then provide like header level information, for example, the buying agent and then the factory who will be working on this order, and then going down to product detail level. They could then confirm on the quantity, and then the pad type, the unit price, origin port mode information, and then the ship date information for the purchase order they have selected. And then, if there is any questions from the supplier, if there's any question from the supplier, they could send a query or a question to the customer, and all these questions and also comments, questions from suppliers and also comments from retailer will be managed within the tool. So once a purchase order, supplier confirmed the receipt and also confirmed the content of the purchase order, and then an EDI feed can be sent to customers' ERP with confirmation details. So moving on to vendor booking. So as it is a very commonly used tool, so for the vendor booking, supplier can also start using the panel on the dashboard to start with the booking. So they will search for the list of PO which haven't been booked, and then to select the lines which they want to proceed with the booking. So for this, they are making the online booking with Origin Freight Forwarder. So what they will be doing, they will be for each product, it will be down to SKU level. They will fill out like the book quantity, and then the number of boxes, and then the volume information, the weight information. So for this detailed information, and then if there is any additional requirements such as export license, dangerous good, it will be maintained by the list and can be added to the corresponding product. And we do have validation. Such as tolerance on days and quantities that can be set up as a business rule. And if any parameter is like out of the tolerance level, then a reason code, a KPI will have to be provided by the supplier. And for this product information, they could be filled out on screen, or they could be download into an Excel template and then fill that out and then upload by using the template. And at the bottom, supplier will fill up the shipment information such as the loading, and then so if factory load is selected, system will suggest the type of container which could be used, and then supplier could input the ex-factory day and also the terms, container requirements, and any marks and numbers, etc., to complete the booking. So next, I'll go on to the packing list. So packing lists are both packing list and commercial invoice. They sit under a document. So after a PO, after a purchase order, it gets booked for shipment, supplier can then proceed to input the packing list. They also can use the search parameter to look for the corresponding booking or order they want to work on. And then system will then pull forward the header information such as the booking number, ship mode, etc. As the idea is actually is really to reduce the administration to input. So we will pull the data through when we can. For example, the header information, and going down to the bottom, the item level details, it will be done to SKU level. User could see the product, SKU, description, color, size will be populated if they are available. And the booked quantity, they can update the pack quantity, the number of cartons if these are being changed. And for factory load order, user can fill out the container, seal, and then select the equipment type, fill in the master build lading, house build lading. And going down, so the system will calculate the number of cartons for each product SKU, and then supplier could fill out the first carton, and system will populate the last carton. Next, going to the carton type, it will be a list maintained by the system. So user can select like the carton type, and then if the type is, so use, and then or they could manually fill out a dimension for the particular carton boxes they will be using if it is not on the list under carton type. And the gross weight, net weight information, they're pulled forward from the booking, and supplier can update if they have to, if they need to. So after filling in all this information, they could proceed to generate the packing list. Just if in any cases, if there are like a mixed SKU cartons in one box, user can simply use the add row or delete row button to manage that. So, but to keep it simple, yeah. I'll just keep it simple for the demo. So after they fill out the packing list, they could confirm on the packing list content. So there are some validation. There's some validation within the system which user will we need to the system will provide some validation like the pack quantity. Right now the pack quantity exceed the validation, and then user will need to bypass all this validation before they could generate the packing list. So
do you have a copy of the
yeah, I share. Yeah. So this is a copy of the packing list that could be generated, which is fairly standard, which include which container the list of items are on, and then the list of cartons. And then moving back to moving back to the packing list itself, and then you could see like the packing list is now generated for this PO SKU, and then but the label is not yet generated. So to generate the label, user can simply select the list of items, and this will then create the standardized label by clicking on the print or fill label button. So are you seeing the label?
To see, can't see the labels yet.
Yeah. Okay. So for the carton label, you will see it's pulling through the PO content and the packing content, and also an SSCC barcode is generated, and then for the SSCC barcode itself, the sequence number will be increasing for each of the box. So there is SSCC on it, and then a system generated ASN could be sent out with the packing details, including the barcode number, and then you can then look to automate the process and scan those to get the information through. So we also have the option like not to have SSCC on it, but you could still get benefits for like having a standardized single ways of working. And then I move on to the commercial invoice bit.
Angela, just before you move on, there's a question come through, are suppliers able to print labels in bulk? I noticed that was just one label that came up.
Yeah, so when they produce the label, because I was just showing an example, and when they are producing the label, it creates a single document which could include like a list of the label they have selected. So with all, so supplier could use that file to bulk print the labels.
Thank you.
Thank you. So on the commercial invoice, so again, user could make use of the reference to look for the list of items for invoice generation, and then information would then be pulled forward either from vendor booking or from packing list, depends on the latest achieved milestone. And then at header level, user could simply select the invoice date, and then we have bank information, which could be hosted against each supplier profile, and then item details will be carried forward from the booking itself or from the packing list, and there are configurable options to whether any of this, like the unit price, could be amended. So to generate the invoice, so I just open the commercial invoice. So to generate the invoice printout itself will have the header information, and going down, it is a standardized format with the PO line level details, and then and then with the price info, quantity, etc. So I'll go back to the slide now, just a second. Find the slide.
Yeah.
Can you share the slide?
Yeah, share the slide.
Sorry, just 1 second, because
Maybe stop sharing and reshare.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, resharing it. That's cool.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
So sorry, just got some technical problem sharing the screen.
No
So just to conclude, just to conclude the processes, really like to really target to save time and effort in creating the documentation, enabling an easy access through the system, and reduce distribution of those documents. And I have covered what I want to show you like online today, and hope it gives you like an idea or a flavor of what's in there. And I'll pass to Duncan.
Thanks, Angela. Thanks for the online demo. It's always difficult on doing everything real time, so great job. Yeah, so just to recap the benefits of the e-documentation piece, so hopefully probably reinforcing the same messages you've heard, but through those 5 or 6 processes, through e-order confirmations, e-bookings, e-packing lists, e-carton labels, trying to make it easy to reuse the data and have everything put into one system and get suppliers and factories off standalone spreadsheets or separate documents. From the carton labeling perspective, we haven't really got time to demonstrate what the destination process would be, but for sure, we'd be looking at simplifying the destination receipt and unloading process. And these benefits are actually, what our customers are looking for. So, I mean, ASOS in the UK is rolling this out, and those are pretty much the benefits they are looking to enjoy. So, cutting out days from the receipt and stock processing activities in the UK in their warehouses, and then improving accuracy of data right the way through the end-to-end supply chain, as you can see listed on the slide there. And I guess in terms of where our customers are going, so we showed you some examples of SSCC labels. We have clients talking to us about RFID and potentially setting up like RFID tunnels in the origin warehouses. So you've got literally piece level scanning and receipts and identification. So down to that level of detail. So what we showed today was more carton level, but our retail clients are looking to go even lower. So someone like Superdry, for example, is interested in that. So that's where we see, I think, the market going. So more and more interested in granularity of data, more and more automation, origin and destination, and just trying to move stock accurately, quickly, and getting it to store as fast as possible. So really the themes that you can see there. So we'll just move to the last piece of today's webinar. So just going to talk briefly about what we're calling partner collaboration. So again, some of you guys who work in supply chain may have challenges communicating with suppliers and factories. Some of you may not, if you've got really good processes. But I mentioned earlier in the webinar how we work with retailers at origin, and we work with their sourcing offices, and sometimes get a chance to attend vendor conferences and hear about from vendors firsthand how they find retailers to work with. And some of the themes we get are vendors saying big retailers just really complicated to work with. They can have multiple systems they have to log into, or things might be done manually. But for those that have multiple systems, there could be a system to confirm a PO. There could be a system to do to post a final production sample. There could be a system to book a QC inspection. There could be a system to do an online cargo booking. There could be systems to do the labeling like we showed you earlier. So multiple systems is one challenge that we hear from vendors and factories. And then from a retailer side, like we find our retailers really want to collaborate with their suppliers, and maybe this is a bit of a cliche or an obvious point, but they're moving away from compliance and driving their suppliers to just wanting to partner. So making it easy to work with, easy to share information, easy to share things like SOPs, maybe sharing videos of a new warehousing operation that's been opened up at destination, or maybe sharing videos on how to pack cartons. So they want to make it as easy as possible to trade with. And another challenge is probably very simple from retailers. They just find it difficult to track the correspondence and communication with their vendor base. Some of our larger retailers might have a few hundred vendors or factories or more, and that's quite challenging to record which of your vendors or factories have received updates from you. So those are some of the challenges that we've kind of come across, and we work with one of our customers, Sainsbury's, to build some solutions around this space. And what we're now looking to try and do is productize some of that. So we move on to the next slide. We are through what we're going to show you, partner collaboration. There's the ability to track the information that's gone out to suppliers and factories, use this as a way of sharing information and getting off emails that you can't really record who's read what or done what, and just improving supplier compliance and awareness of retailer requirements, and just promoting engagement. So we'll give you a quick snapshot, look and feel of what we're doing in this space. And again, it'd be interesting to hear either during this session or after, if you get a moment, what you think of it, and if it will be useful for your organizations to help share info with your vendors and factories. So we're just going to go a quick flick through and give you a look and feel for what we're doing in this space.
Sure. So I just flick through this fairly quickly. And for the landing page, EV Cargo One, so we have a landing page which we call EV Cargo One, and this is an entry point for supplier with a view of modules by tile. So we are looking to add notification to each of the tiles, so alerting users when there are items requires action or needs to be alerted. For example, the number of POs are pending for confirmation, or if you have received a new SOP from the customer and need to be read and confirmed, then user will be prompt to look at that. And the notification will then lead user through each module so they can further work on the action items. And next, sharing news. So this is under partner collaboration. There are a few areas we hope like the platform itself can help a bit with some of the communication between retailers and suppliers. So here you can share latest news or update through the portal, and then you would select which suppliers need to retrieve the news. So if you want to, for example, send your footwear suppliers this information, you may use the selection function to avoid bothering other non-related supplier for unnecessary information. And another example would be you could notify a supplier for also, for example, before you going on for a buying trip, or there's some exhibition they may be interested to join. And sharing documents. So on sharing documents, documents can be shared in different formats, such as different files or as a video. And we have a client who previously, when they opened a new DC and then implement a new DC process at destination, and they want to share that with vendor, like what is happening in destination, and this is the reason they want the supplier to be compliant. Say using the approved carton type only, and attach the carton label at the right area. And moving on to contact. So it gives you the ability to share the latest contact within the business for related department, and also maintaining all those in one platform. Lastly, it's around useful link. So this stores link to any other solutions or useful sites. So it allows suppliers to link to external system from a one entry point. So making it easier for them to navigate like from one system to another. So most of these are actually fairly simple and self-explanatory. So I hope it gives you an idea of like what is coming next.
Okay, yeah, so thank you very much everyone for listening. Monique, maybe we'll pass back over to you. We didn't want to spend the full 1 hour banging through international supply chain technology with you, but we hope to share a few insights and ideas, and maybe promote some thoughts from your side. So yeah, happy to hand back over to you, Monique, now. Thank you for this.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you, Angela. Thank you, Duncan. This has been really insightful, and it's great to get a demo where you can actually have the voice as well, explaining how different parts and components of the software work. So we really appreciate that. And this will be recorded and uploaded to our YouTube channel, so you can share it with the rest of your organisation after today's webinar. Are there any questions that you'd like to ask of Duncan or Angela in the chat box for today's session? While I'm waiting for those, Angela, could I ask you a question about the labels again? Because I'm thinking about sizing and layout and different customer requirements. Do you have to use the standard label, or is there option to customize that in terms of their own specifications? Oh, you're muted.
Sorry, absolutely, they could customize them. Actually, this applies to like all of the outputs from the application. It applies to the label and as well as like the packing list or the commercial invoice you've seen. And we recognize that there may be specific requirements on the output of those, and it could be like what data it displayed or the format of it, and we can simply create customer output documents based on customers' requirements. So the one you've seen is our product standard. It could be taken as an idea, and then we could build the output based on each customer's need.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If there are no further questions, we'll take a slight early mark. There's only a few moments to, oh, there's one question that's come in. I must ask it. It's of David Hogg in WA. Does EV Cargo have suppliers, retail customer supply chains that don't involve China as the source of products, i.e. reverse flow or between other trading blocks?
Yeah, that's a great question, and thanks for the question, David. Yeah. The answer is yes, we do. I suppose we probably maybe overplayed the focus on China because we're based here for today's presentation, but absolutely. So we track import, export. So we have, I'll give you some random examples. We have like Munchkin, who ship from milk powder from New Zealand into Australia, or New Zealand to US in terms of shipments. So all the processes we've showed broadly work the same way, regardless of where the import export goes from. And yeah, just in terms of sourcing, so again, it's probably a bit of a sales comment, but everything we've showed you is web-based. It just needs the internet to work. So we do have clients that have multiple sourcing offices. So they might have retailers might have started in China and then expanded out into, for example, into Myanmar or to Indonesia, India. So we have customers and sourcing offices and factories logging in from all of those areas as well. But actually, as you will know, it's a kind of global business, global trade business, and all the concepts that we've covered today really apply regardless of where the source is. But yeah, we cover all sorts of areas. Thanks for your question.
Okay, well, I'd like to close today's session, and you can talk to both Duncan and Angela afterwards in our closed LinkedIn group for members and ask further questions of them in that platform. Thank you so much, Duncan and Angela, and we look forward to meeting your new staff member in Sydney.
That's, yeah, absolutely, and hopefully travel permitting, maybe the second half of next year I can pop down and introduce you to him or have a coffee with you all. So yeah, thanks for that.
Sounds great. Okay, bye everyone. Thanks for joining.
Bye.
Bye.